Have you ever wondered what cruise ships are really like? Are they giant floating petri dishes like some people think? How crowded are they? Will you feel trapped? Ahoy, travelers! It's Amy with Cruising from the Ozarks here to help you make your travel experience a success. I recently had a friend ask me if he thought he'd enjoy the cruise that his wife had booked for the family. I honestly think for the majority people out there, cruising is one of the best vacations you can take. Maybe you're still on the fence though. Let's talk about what cruise ships are really like to help you get a sense on if cruising is for you. For the most part, cruise ships are like resorts that move from location to location. And just like resorts on land, there are all kinds of cruise ships, from small luxury ships to large family ships with theme park rides. This makes it impossible to describe what every ship will be like in just one video. Instead, we're going to work in generalities. There are a lot of obvious things that you can expect on a cruise ship: staterooms, dining rooms, theaters, and of course, bars. While these things may be obvious, they definitely won't all be the same and will instead be based on your choice of line and ship. Even the basic cabin will provide you a bed, TV, storage, and a small bathroom. Unless you have sprung for a suite, don't expect a lot of luxury in your cabin though. Even the larger cabins will be smaller than the average hotel room of the same category. There won't be a lot of room, but there will be enough room. Just remember that the goal is to spend your time outside your cabin, not in it. While some cabins do boast of a tub in the bathroom, it is definitely not standard. Showers are often small and can be a challenge for larger people, both in height and weight. Don't freak out when you flush the toilet either. Their suction design means they really make some noise. I mean, it's almost impossible to not wake up your cabin mate if you use the toilet in the middle of the night. That's how loud they are. The two main places available to eat on a cruise ship will be the main dining room and the buffet. The main dining room, or MDR, is similar to a sit-down restaurant on land, except there is no bill at the end of the night. MDRs are often very large and may even take up 2 levels. You can expect to be seated with other guests unless you specifically ask for a private table, and even that depends on availability. Dress requirements will vary based on the cruise line, but usually you'll be fine with at least a nice pair of jeans and a knit top, not t-shirt. Just check with the cruise line first and see what their requirements are. While the MDR is open for dinner every evening, it will depend on the ship if it is open for breakfast or lunch. If the MDR isn't available, or maybe you don't feel like a sit-down dinner, your other main option is the buffet. A buffet is a buffet, so there probably won't be any surprises when opting to eat at a cruise ship buffet. Most lines have their buffet available for all meals, although you will want to check the schedule as they often shut down between meals to reset. So between breakfast to lunch, they'll often shut down half or all of the buffet so they can rotate out the foods. Buffets are a good way to grab food quickly and from a large variety. You could choose to eat in the buffet or take your food to go. Many lines will also have specialty dining restaurants with upscale dining at an extra cost, and usually some quick eat options that are included. It's like having a choice between free fast food or paying extra for a 4-star restaurant. You have a place to sleep and food to eat, but how are you going to occupy your time while on board a cruise ship? While the type and levels of entertainment will vary from line to line and ship to ship, there are some things that you can expect. Every cruise line has a theater where they will have various entertainment available to guests. Depending on the line, you can find everything from a solo artist to a full-blown Broadway-style musical. Some people even book specific ships based on what is being performed in the theater. If musical theater and variety shows with song and dance aren't your thing, many lines also have comedians that perform. Carnival even has a comedy club specifically for their comedians. If you like music, you will be able to find a lot of it on board a ship. Whether it's piped in or live, most bars and venues have music. Many times ships will book multiple singers and musical groups to play in different venues throughout your cruise. Ships might have a cover band of your favorite artist playing in the atrium one night and a trio of rock violinists the next. Head on out poolside and you might be treated to someone playing Caribbean music on a steel drum. Be sure to check your ship's daily schedule to see if there is an act that you'd like to see. Throughout your cruise, you'll find various trivia games, game shows, classes, demonstrations, and sometimes even educational talks. Often there will be multiple chances to play trivia during your cruise, often even multiple times a day, especially on sea days. General trivia, pop culture, geography, history, and more. Sometimes you can even earn a prize. Many lines will have game shows with audience participation, whether you want to try your hand on the stage or watch. These can be a lot of fun and sometimes are standing room only. Maybe you want to see how sushi is made or take a line dancing class. There's often classes and demonstrations available for those with various interests, especially, again, on sea days. Some lines will even provide guests with informative and educational talks by experts. Usually they'll be on a topic that has to do with the port stops on your cruise. Maybe all you want to do while on your cruise is relax. Well, there are plenty of opportunities for that. Cruise ships have lots of places designed for relaxation. Perhaps you want to take a dip in the pool or maybe in the hot tub. Get some sun on an open deck. There are also tucked away areas both on the open decks and inside that you can find if you want to get away from the crowds. Maybe you want to read a book or even catch up on some emails. Are cruise ships petri dishes? I'm going to touch on that more, but before I do, if you enjoy this video and maybe even learn something, consider subscribing with the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any future posts. Be sure to hit that like button as well. It only takes a second, and doing so helps cruisers like you find us. I mentioned at the beginning that there are people out there who think that cruise ships are just floating petri dishes. And to be honest, the outbreak of COVID on cruise ships early on didn't help those opinions out any. However, cruise ships are honestly some of the cleanest places you can ever be, and they have only gotten better since the shutdown. Crew have upped their game when it comes to keeping public places on ships clean. Even before the shutdown, you would see crew going around wiping down surfaces in public spaces, but there seems to be even more of that now. New hand washing stations have been created for those coming into the buffet, which is the most likely place for contamination. There's no land-based comparison for how much cleaning is done on a cruise ship, especially in public spaces. Maybe hospitals, maybe? Another thing that you hear people bring up, and I guarantee these are people who have never been on a cruise ship, is that being on a cruise ship is too crowded and it's like sardines packed into a tin can. If ships were really like that, there would be very little recidivism. People would go on one cruise and never book another vacation on a cruise ship again. Are there certain events and venues that get crowded? For sure. The more popular something is, the more people are going to try to get in to experience it. However, lines work hard to offer all kinds of events in various venues scattered throughout the ship, which helps keep most events from being overly packed. Various ships also have different space ratios. The more luxurious a line is, the more space per passenger there will be. If you're interested in finding out that information, go to cruisedeckplans.com and you can find the space ratio for each ship. If you're an introvert like me, you might be worried that a cruise ship is just too crowded for you. Well, you might be surprised to find out that many cruisers are actually introverts. I will leave a link in the description to my video on cruising as an introvert. While you will be stuck on the ship while it's out to sea, it's highly unlikely that you're going to feel trapped in any way. Cruise ships, especially the larger ones, are basically little cities at sea. There's just so much to do with pools, bars, restaurants, theaters, casinos, arcades, coffee shops, and even game rooms and libraries. I highly recommend that anyone hesitant about getting on a cruise ship look for ship tours on YouTube and see what all is actually available. There are some great content creators out there that make some really in-depth ship tours. One of my favorites is Har Travel, and I always go there first to see if they have a tour of my next ship. My other suggestion is to make sure to really explore the ship once you get on it. Don't miss out on something you might like by not looking at the daily schedule and getting out there for some exploration. If you've never been on a cruise ship before, is there something I missed that you'd like to hear about? Let me know. why not stick around and check out this video on cruising as an introvert, and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.